Hey people, a video on magnetizing a Stormraven. So here's the Stormraven model all set up to go, and I have all the pieces here to the side that are going to be magnetized or whatnot. And so let me show you what we've got. So the top mount here, I've got the top of the capella off, because what you want to do is you want to, when you go to paint it, the better thing to do is to paint all the guy and then to put this on after. So we're going to leave that off for here, but well, actually no, I'll do is we'll turn it so you can see how it will fit on. So it will fit on like that, and then you can rotate it and stuff. And there's magnets here in the sides for these guys, for the top mounts. So what I've got going here is I've got a magnet set up so that you can have your plasma cannon or your salt cannon or your las cannon up here top, and it's been magnetized again using the universal magnetization that I like to use with the master magnet. The idea being, of course, that whatever you're magnetizing to is one side, and then everything you're magnetizing to it goes the other way, the other polarity. So in fact, if you notice, I've got a magnet on the outside of this here, so that you can actually magnetize these little coverings here each time, and they of course will be they have the same polarity as the magnet on the inside right here, which is what magnetizes the gun to the little capella up here. So there's that magnetization. Now on the sides here, it has a plate. It has a big old plate so that you can magnetize the hurricane bolters or the flat panels to the side here. So there's the hurricane bolter or the flat panel, which I just have magnets on the inside, and the flat panel here is gonna, it'll cinch up real good here and not want to come out, and that will make me sad later because then I'll have to try and get it to come off, which, mixed blessing. So anyway, there's your option on that either way. Then here in the front, what I've done is you go ahead and put two magnets in the front here, and when you get the pieces for the Stormraven, they have these little nibs that would allow you to fit in here, so you just chop those off and then drill into the back of whatever it is or the multi-melter, or the heavy bolter, and add a magnet, just like so, a nice flush magnet. So then it flushes up, and you can have a multi-melta, or you can have your missile launcher, or the heavy bolter, which I've got here somewhere, stuck to the back of one of the hurricane bolter mounts. So just like that. So yeah, just a couple of tips. Obviously, I like to use a Dremel to magnetize out the back of these. When you're putting them in, make sure you're nice and flush. Otherwise, this up here on this front mount, it will stick out at a kind of a funky, weird angle or something like that, and won't look real good unless you make sure that you've made it nice and flush both on this guy and on that guy. This guy's a little bit tough because what it is, it's like a floating magnet for a while. And so you have to, I find that using like the flat of an older X-Acto knife blade, like one that's kind of dull or whatever, I'll keep one around, then I'll switch out my blade, put in an older blade, and then drill a hole with the Dremel just to kind of like loosen it up and give myself a little bit more room here, and then put my magnet in, and then use the X-Acto knife, the dull X-Acto knife blade, to flush it out on the surface here, so that it doesn't catch or anything. And then we can get a top-down view, so you can see there that they're real nice and flush. Yeah. And then I'll just glue that thing on. Now, of course, I've left the top screen off here because we're going to paint up all this guy and then put the top screen in after and last. Same idea with this thing. I want to show you this. Without the capella on this thing, the way that I've got these magnets here, which they're just kind of sitting there, it actually makes it so that these guys sit at kind of a funky angle. It looks weird. It looks like they're they're not quite straight up and down. But once you get that Capella on there, it's going to, because of the way it sits and it has some extra, it sits more on the outside here and has some extra shape and space, it's actually going to straighten that out and make it look nice and straight. With the inside of these hurricane bolters, the best way that I've found to magnetize is to get yourself some thicker magnets, which will also be good because it will give you the extra suction up against the metal plate there. But make sure you get a couple extra thick magnets and then glue them in right in this area here, right, and that's nice and centered. Also, when you're building your hurricane bolters, always make sure that you get the right piece, this inside piece here, in the right place for each side, because you can make it work on the other side, the wrong piece. Once you build one, you'll know exactly what I'm trying to say there. But if you do it the wrong side, then it won't sit properly when you try to put it on the model. It won't have the same suction or fit in just quite as well. So there's how you magnetize for the options on a Stormraven. I hope you guys enjoyed.